This is the youngest Buddha, right?
Yeah. Well, there's one younger in the house, but
youngest practitioner. That's Mary called his youngest practitioner.
Yeah. Can you tell Khenpo how old you are?
Hi.
Can you tell him Omani Pamehon? Yeah, good.
Sound?
Good morning, everyone. So opening prayer. Almost ready, right?
Yes.
Day 2 Yoga Sadhana. All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering severely. I rise to let them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. O Mother Sentient Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering severely. I rise to let them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dala Damvara Sebeda, no para Sebege, Tarpa Dan Damje, Jembe Barada Jubara Seba, Damje Jeso Sebe, Manamka Dan Yambe, Simjen Damje Dewa Dandi, Donghara Dandra, Nyorda Lana Meba Yanda Bara Zobe Sanjo Rumboje, Tobara Sa. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of Yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As previous Buddhas embodied the enlightened mind and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path, true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. May all Mother Sentient Beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. 7 lamp prayer. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathagatas in the 10 directions. Those who have already reached Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagata state to come. Through the power of Samadabhada's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms. surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus, all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of their excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, honoring oils, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offering to them of fine garments, perfume and purple, poured idas, moon, meadow, and oranges in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and the most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to the Buddhas and make offering to them following the deeds of great Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas and the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattva and the Pakshika Buddhas. Those who have attained Aharasha, those who have entered the path of Aharasha and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the high sphere of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened states. I supplicate those Buddhas intending pass into Parinirvana to living long for as many years as there are atoms of the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of enlightenment of our sentient beings, or this I dedicate. Short mandala offering, Tibetan. Saye beje zo yen me do zhang, re ra len yen ye de jin ban de, san je shen la me de purwa ye, ro ge nam dai shen de je wa re shu, ku song yun zo lam me zo nam la, sen nan san song de yin ye jin chu, da le long ju nan se yun ye la, la min jo ge ngu zhou zar de sur, san cer wa dang ju jin xia gua dang, ji se ye ran gor jin sor wa ye, ge wa yun ze da ge jie za ba, tam jie zou be san jiu zi ngu, gu ru rin na men zha la bun za men ga sa men zha sa wa rin, sa ma ye a hong. Equal refuge, enemy of the world, your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are the victor of Arjadara, we do adore. I bow at the feet of Father Njigdi Songo, continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings, dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of mind. Please turn the way of the Dharma of the two vehicles and the combination according to this position and likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. Now we go to Chinrezek. Sadhana, page 24. She in the center of a pure and of a potala, brilliant white on a lotus and modest seeds. I appear in the form of noble Avalokiteshvara, white and radiant with one face, 4 arms, and 2 legs. My first 2 hands are joined at my heart, and the lower 2 hands are crystal rosary and a white lotus. Our slick and jewel ornament my seeds, legs are crossed, and adorning my crown in Lama Amitabha Buddha of boundless light. Or surrounded Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gathered like clouds. From the Om Ahom at my 3 centers stream out rays of light. In what and wholesome wisdom deity who dissolve indivisibly. In the center of my heart, one lotus and modesties is the celebration. Surrounded by the mantra garland, from it lake streams out, making offering to the noble ones and purifying the obscuration of all beings. The whole environment become the realm of a Mon Potala, all that appears in the form of a great compassionate one. All songs, the speech of a 6-syllable mantra, and all thoughts of the wisdom mind of emptiness and the compassion, out of genuine nature, beyond grasping and all providing, I recite the mantra. Tibetan. Shedakwe yengam boda la yevi, rakara be ma da ve ding ding de, ranye pa pai jin re zi ji ge, kasar yar je sa ye ya ni ba, tambo sa nye do kar tar mo jar, oma ni je yen chen be kar na, tardan ren jin jin den je zhong yu, jie wo la ma wu ba me be jin, kor de san jie san sen zhen dar de, ne song ong a hong ge wu zi re ji, yi xie la zo jin zhang ni mi den, to we be de din la ye ge re, ten tar nga jen chen we go wa le, on zhi pang jiong zhou gen zhe ba jiong, xin kang dam jie re wo da le yin, nong wa dam jie tu jie jen we ge, zha zha dam jie ye ge zhu be song, chen do dam jie dong nie nin ji do, zeng mi chal dar nyung me ngang ne da, om mani be me hong, 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 dang ge du jie xiao jie rei sen zhong yin jie me de de jie gong jiang ba, si le jie leng bo da ve re ji be ge, xiao jie jie be xiao la su ran de, do jin jiang jin de lo na ro dang, ma ba me la ji jie gang bu ba, pa mo zhe ba jarwa indu gongbe kaju lama nala zorwa de rome jije yenje bograne tizom sanje genje ngoye ranzen jege ngozon donzebe Save lama yala guzanza. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you 37 practice of Bodhisattva. 37 practice of Bodhisattva has virtue in the beginning, virtue in the middle, virtue and the conclusion. So virtue in the sorry, my phone is. Oh, someone calling. Virtue in the beginning. So it's homage to Avalokiteshvara, and then also all these perfect Buddhas come from the Dharma practice. So that's the reason we have to know this 37 practice. Main middle of the virtues has 37 verses. So then conclusion. So middle of verses, we have a 37 verses has a beginner beginners for basic teaching. We can say basic teaching, and then also more Bodhisattvas practitioners practicing. So we finished the basic teaching. Today we are in the Bodhisattvas practice. So verses verses 18, right? I think so, verses 18. Then yesterday we shared many verses, but they are very important sections. So today in the verses 18 also very important. Of course, this whole verses is important. So now verses 18. Through you lack what you need and are constantly disparaged, afflicted by dangerous sickness and spirits, without discouragement, take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So this verses 18, we get so many kind of like problems, like suffering of suffering. So if we get the suffering of suffering, then what we can do? So we can change our intention and mindset. So see, this kind of problem we often we get because it's suffering of suffering, change of suffering, pervasive of suffering. So these three sufferings or the samsaric beings has. Though you lack what you need, so we need food, maybe not enough food. So we need to drink water, so maybe not enough drink. And then that is the basic, like we need clothes if we don't have enough clothes. So people need a job, maybe no job. People need a family, some maybe no family. So some need children, maybe no children. So many different desires individual has. It's countless desires, each human being. So, wishing or desire. So that's though you like what you need, what you want. Then also, and the constantly disparaged. Same time also we get, more suffering and the spirits without discouragement. So maybe, we get constantly disparaged. We get another problem. Same time, so maybe lose job. Same time, people can lose family. Yeah. So maybe they same time get sick, and that kind, when we get difficulty problems, affected by dangerous as a sickness and the spirits. So also due to obstacle or due to our own karma. So some affected by the spirits and obstacle beings without discouragement. So when we get that kind of difficult problem, what we can do? Take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. So that time, then we think about all its karma, and all the sentient beings want happiness. No one wants suffering, but due to the karma, even we chasing happiness, it causes our suffering. All beings want happiness, but create causes of suffering. Due to that, all beings stuck in samsara, endless suffering. So we use this problem is we can purify our own karma. We change our mindset just thinking about, okay, so this is my previous life karma is happening in this life. I am purifying my karma, and also we can think about, take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. So this, my suffering is representative of my mother sentient beings. So we take the other beings' suffering. It's Tongli meditation, become Tongli. So that's the many Bodhisattvas use this when they get problem and difficulty, get sick or get, like lose family or something big problem when they get. So they use this meditation practice and they purify karma. So that's it's a very important section, practitioners. So in this way of Bodhisattva, you really clearly you see we cannot avoid our problem and the sufferings. So we can change that. You can take that, or is on the path, taking on to the path, use for our practice. So sometimes people think I practice Dharma, I can get away from my karma and the sufferings. That's also not truth, right? Because this way of Bodhisattva, they didn't say you can skip your karma. So the Buddhist way, this 37 practice never ever say you can get some power and just, remove our suffering, problems, and can help for others, benefit others, like use your power. something. So the power is here, or is a power is a compassion. Power is bodhicitta. Bodhisattva's power is bodhicitta and compassion. So then these problems, other, enemies, harm to bodhisattvas, their bodhisattvas not lost. They don't get the suffering because of the use power of a bodhicitta. And here also see bodhisattva also get sick. Bodhisattva can get difficulty problems, but they use this practice, then change the situation, transform all negativity, transforming is taken into the path. That's why it's called way of Bodhisattva, way of Bodhisattva, increasing bodhicitta, purify karma. So bodhisattvas, when they get to see this 18, the verses 18 problem, though you like what you need and the constantly disparaged. So they use this, they purify karma and also same time benefit for others. Change it, they use Tonglen meditation. Yesterday I shared with you Tonglen meditation, exchange meditation. Bodhisattvas knows that, this suffering is come from due to the previous life karma. So that's why the Bodhisattvas knows this practice, use that suffering, purify previous life karma. Okay, so this part, verses 18, long as we have life, we always go through this difficulty all the time. Because long as we have desires, long as we have emotions, we have always problem, like what we need, what we want. So then also constantly disparaged, affected by the many dangerous sickness and spirits. So without discouragement, Bodhisattvas never lost the encouragement. So think about, we sometimes what we want, we don't get successful, then people lose devotion. So people say, oh, I did medicine Buddha, why I get sick? I did white Tara practice, why something what I want, why I didn't successful? So, the kind of often people has dropped and lose courage and lose devotions. Actually, the person didn't do it correctly too. They don't recognize they didn't do it correctly because there, is we doing some practice, but also not really doing correctly. First intention, bodhicitta maybe not there, and then what we have to do, mean practice, visualize it clearly, and follow all this, the step-by-step practice visualizations correctly. I don't think so have enough like that kind of profoundly practice. But still then blame the blind or like what, or say blame like the Yadam deities and the protectors. Okay, so easily lost encouragement, right? And the Bodhisattvas never lost. See, they're practicing, then when they get sick, more difficulty, they get more courage. They use that for practice. Become then their practitioner. So we have to learn this 18. Sometimes we think we did something, but no successful. So then sometimes we lose devotions to Yadam deities, Buddhas, And also we say, I did so many this practice Dharma, why I get suffering, why I get difficulties. Because that means like we still not understanding clearly karma cause and the effect. If we know the cause and the effect, previous life did something negative, that karma is interrupting this life. So it's the burning the negative karma, previous life karma in the life. So we're doing good things, that karma is coming, taking to the future life, not rapiding, that good, you're doing good things, not rapiding suffering. So that's never happen. When you put rice seeds in the ground, there always comes rice, not barley. You put barley seeds in the ground, always comes barley, no rice. So like that, when you do the virtuous deeds, result is happiness. No virtuous deeds, result is suffering. But then people don't thinking about the previous life, only thinking about in this life, maybe thinking about only 1 year, within 1 year, what I did. So I did good things like last month. Why I get suffering in this month? So then they think last month I did good things. That karma is happening in this month suffering. So that is the core ignorance. No patience, no understanding cause and effect. So karma is followed by eons. Not just only life, couple life, followed by eons. Sometimes these practitioners practice the previous life karma is happening, is exhausting, purifying. Then future life is become maybe going to nirvana, reborn to higher realms. So that's the reason your practice, purifying karma, is happening in this life. So we don't recognize that. That's actually good thing happening, but due to our ignorance, we don't recognize. Then this Bodhisattvas recognize that. That's why they get sick and suffering, this kind of problems. They are happy and joy because they know the karma is purifying. So maybe headache karma, remove hair karma. Stomach ache karma, remove hungry ghost karma. So like that kind, you get some temporary sickness is recovering like kind of like lower realms karma, free from lower realms karma. So that's the reason Bodhisattvas, when they get sick, many Bodhisattvas have a realization, song of realizations. They say, when I get sick, I'm happy to sick, I purify my karma. When I get where it's not get sick, it's healthy, they say, I'm very happy, I'm healthy, I'm continue going to practice. So this verses 18 is we always have to contemplate again, read, practice. When we get difficulty, problem, suffering, so you use this one, it really helps you and change your life. So that is the power of this bodhicitta, power of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta protecting us lower realms. Bodhicitta protect our suffering. The protection, we're talking about the protection. The bodhicitta is the highest level protection. So we're talking about, for example, relative truth. Relative truth, the highest level protection is bodhicitta. Absolute truth protection is realization of Mahamudra. Okay, that is the protection, two protections. No any other than protections that. So when we get problem suffering, so you use your compassion, bodhicitta, and purify karma, and also that sickness is representative. So also other beings karma means like you use that suffering and we benefit for others, because when you get sick, you can think about, okay, my mother sentient beings have this kind of suffering, so you think, and then I want to represent their sickness, I want to take their suffering. So that helps actually purify our karma and also benefit to them too. Very important section. So Bodhisattva's main point, never lost the encouragement. Without discouragement, take on the misdeeds and the pain of all living beings. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Okay, so then we go to the verses 19. Though you become famous and many bow to you, and you gain rich equal to Vaishavanas, see that worldly fortune is without essence and be unconsented. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So verses 18 and verses 19 is opposite. Yeah. So this also think about like many meditator practitioners, like first, okay, 18. So Garchen Rinpoche, there get this suffering in the present 1950s. So now he has like maybe 19, but this both they bring equanimity. They bring equanimity, practitioner meditators. First 18, they don't lose the courage. 19, they don't get pride. They bring equanimity. So sometimes we get so much problem, suffering, one by one. And then we have to think about 18, verses 18, okay? So you never lost courage. You never lost your hope. And our problem, suffering, whatever comes, is only temporary. And use that, then you become powerful. If we don't go through this verses 18 kind of this situation, you never ever get like perfect person. I mean, like someone like courage person to, have for benefit for others. Not possible. So we know that like the life is so easy going, then that cannot do that much for difficult hardship through the benefit others. Never ever go to that person is like Bodhisattva level. So who go through this verses 18, that person can become Bodhisattva. If someone who never go through verses 18, never ever can be Bodhisattva. So this condition we always have, verses 18, we always have these conditions, depending which kind of situation, right? We have these conditions. So during that time, you have to recognize, remember these verses and use that verses and our difficult problems taken into the path. Then go to the 19. Though you become famous, so the person has become famous and many bought to you. So maybe this is like depending individual levels. If someone spiritual become very famous, So many people follow and respect and bow down to you, or you have become getting rich equal to Vaishnavenas, like kind of like president king, you have that kind, or like really rich, powerful, material gained, and worldly, you have whatever you need, like power and material things. So that kind you can get happiness. See what worldly fortune is without essence. You have to really see no any essence worldly things, no any essence. So that's we think about all the history, the kings. No any essence there. These kingdoms or fighting each other territory. There's so much suffering whole life, go through that, but after no one done any great thing. So that means no any essence in the worldly. Then also we think about all these presidents and conqueror, maybe worldly. Some people become president 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, control the country. But then when after that, they die their own people, they're killing their own people, they're killing them. See, first they are kind of a king and gods, control whole country, power, they have power whole country, but finally, end of the life, their own people kill them. So that's it's always impermanent, it's changing, right? And that's why see what worldly fortune is without essence. So anyway, this is a dependent individual situation. What is you get something, you wanting, you get good positions, no need pride. So you have to see everything is impermanent, temporary. Then that means no attach to that object, no attachment. Less attachment become, then you no suffering, because all suffering is come from attachment. If we are strong attached to that object, become this object is temporary, is impermanent, it's become one day gone, then you know impermanent, then no suffering. You gain rich equal to Vishwavana, see what worldly fortune is without essence, and be unconcerted. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So Bodhisattvas get like very high level, means like kind of worldly gain, or and many people follow, and many people bow down, become famous. They're not attached to that. There's no attachment to that. And when in the samsara, whatever difficulty problems get, they don't lose their courage. So that's the Bodhisattvas. What thing about this, our ordinary people, verses 18, we are lost our courage, maybe wanted to die. Many people die, that take their own life. When they get 90, they're so pride. And then they have pride and also so strong desire attachment. So that's why it's both are suffering. Bodhisattva, both are is taken into the path. Okay, so then verses 20. While the enemy of your own anger is not subdued, though you conquer external force, they will only increase. Therefore, with the malita of love and compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Verses 20 is practice patience. So, while the enemy of your own anger is not subdued, the enemy is our own anger. If our anger is not subdued, then though your conquer external force, they will only increase. External enemies increasing in the increasing. So long as you subdued your own anger, then all this external force, they were decreasing, not increasing. So now that we really look and think about this verses 20, the enemy is not the external force. Enemy is our own anger. So if anger is not subdued, then anger is the same as the fire. Fire is in your hand. So your hand, fire is in your hand. So you're going to fire through someone. So first your hand is going to burn because fire is in your hand. So like that, anger destroy your own happiness. That's the Buddha Shakyamuni. He told his brother of the Lejin. Lejin, he always maybe due to jealousy, always have anger issues, emotions. So then Buddha told him, so you have to subdue your anger, emotions. Lejin actually told Buddha, you run away home 6-7 years. No, you come back. What you get? You don't get anything. So no, you don't have anything. You are really poor guy. You beg the food and only 3 clothes. You don't have anything other than that. So poor, you terrible poor. He told him, told Buddha. So Buddha told him, no. So you are really poor. You have to recognize what's going on yourself. So he said, what going on myself? I'm perfect, everything. Buddha said, no, you are not perfect. You look to yourself, so much emotion you have right now. So he said, no, I don't have emotion. Buddha said, yes, you have anger right now. So anger is the same as fire is your hand. Fire is your hand. And you try to throw that fire for someone, but you'll get burned yourself first. So you have to release fire. So then Lejin, he actually he shamed himself. He ran away from the Buddha. He lost the bet. So like this, where here verses 20 is very powerful because we always have anger, emotions, right? If we don't have anger, then this okay ready. You have a completely practice. Long as we have anger, we need these verses. So enemy is of your own anger. It's not subdued. So we have to subdue our own anger. But it's really, really hard to subdue our own anger. That's we know. Yeah. Then how to subdue our own anger. So that is all this practice of Bodhisattva. 37 practice. So many here instruction, different situations, different. When we get different situations, anger is arise. So each verses helps. When we get different situations, each verses has a powerful to reduce our own anger. Subdued, though you conquer external force, they will only increase. Therefore, with the metta of love, compassion, subdue your own mind. So we have to use our love and compassion, subdue our anger. Our army is love and compassion. not the anger is our army. So worldly people, their army is anger. Bodhisattva's army is love and compassion. So Bodhisattvas used the love and compassion, subdued their own anger. They know anger is enemy. Ordinary people, enemy, they don't recognize anger is enemy. They think anger is a protection, power, and then subdued external, force, enemies. But if it does like that, never end. Enemy is increasing, never end. So our one person not possible to end enemies. Even country, powerful countries also try to subdue external enemies. Never subdued. You subdued one and it comes at two. You subdued two, comes 3 or 4. So become everyone's your enemy. We subdued external enemy and become more increasing all its enemies. So think about in these countries, like world, the countries fighting each other. So try to subdue countries each other, but you subdued one country, 2, 3 countries become enemy again. So endless wars become endless suffering. Never finish the external enemies. Therefore, with the mallet of love and compassion, so Bodhisattvas use love and compassion is their army, subdued your own mind. They subdued their own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Buddhist is called the Nangpa. Tibetan, the word is called Nangpa. Nangpa means inner. Inner means like you subdued your own mind, anger, and create your love, compassion on your mind. So practice own mind. Nangpa means inner. So if we something doing external, not looking, subdued our own mind, so that practice is actually not that powerful. The main Dharma practice means like we have to subdue our crazy mind. Then Buddha's teaching is like 3 statements, 3 words. Like it's we say like abandon the non-virtuous deeds. Is the be with harmony with other beings. No create like causes of suffering. So that is the core basic teachings. Then second is called give up in some property is like practice dharma, virtuous deeds. So virtuous deeds is love and compassion, virtuous deeds. Then third is called the Dipachiyam as a give up in rank semne yonsundar means like subdued our own mind. So that is the subdued our own mind, which can subdue our own mind. Love, compassion can subdue our own mind. That is the Buddha's practice, Dharma. That is the Dharma. So subdue your own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Then verses 21. Sensual pleasure are like salt water. The more you indulge, the more thirsty and increase. Abandon at once those things which breed clinging, attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Okay. So we think we use the, samsaric pleasure things, become we satisfy. But Buddha said never ever satisfy. You use more this pleasure object, become you are more desire, never end desire. Pleasure objects become create more desires, not reducing desires. And so that is like same is like a salt water. The more you indulge, the more thirsty increases. So salty water, I don't know, you drink more and become more thirsty again and again. So like that, you use more the pleasure desire object, and you increasing more desires, never end desires, never satisfy. So increasing desires. Then why the problem is increased desires? Then desire is causes of suffering. So we have an example, desire causes suffering. Elephant desire to the smooth, like attachment to the senses, the body senses. And then they go into the mud and lay down because body's desire senses. They're stuck in the mud, they cannot get out, they die in the mud. Do you understand? Okay. The elephant die in the mud, muddy, right? Muddy place, mud. They're stuck there. They cannot get out. Then if long as like we desire like tongue, desire to the taste, then fish caught by the fishing people, called hook, because they put in the food in the top of the some, what they call hook, and then they eat that and hook up their tongue. So like that is the desire of the taste. Desire of eye become the bugs jumping into the fires. You create like butter lamp, and then some bugs directly into the butter lamp and burn themselves. That is like desire, form desire, seeing. Then air, hearing desire is the used to hunters use the flute. Some does the flute, and then some hunter go too close to the animal, the deers, they shoot arrow, they die because they forget everything, and their desire to the song. And the some hunters use flute, and then the animal, so especially I think deers or some the wild animals, they hear this voice song, they forget everything, and then they're listening that, then other hunter go to very close, shoot them, die. So that is examples, like desire examples. And long as we have a desire, we are stuck in samsara, not possible to free from samsara. So then this sensational pleasures, like a salty water, is you use more and more increasing. Desires more increasing, not reduced. So that's the reason the basic teaching, is Buddha's basic teaching is like reduce the desire object. The second teaching is like practice compassion. Even you use the desire, but through the compassion, they're taking on the path. Third practice, so like Vajrayana say, use the desire is create the wisdom. So anyway, the desire is always a problem, but you can use a different method, desire you taking into the path. That is the different levels of practice, Dharma. Then also, we due to the cultures, in the Buddhas during that time, there's a reduce or the object is become less object, less suffering, less desires. Kind of in the Western culture, like you own more things, you get more things, become you less suffering. So that is the culture. But main point is no attachment. You can own more things, but long as you not attached to that much, no fixation, then the object is no problem. The problem is desire. So someone owned the $100, someone owned the $1 million. Person who didn't fixation, no attached to $1 million, then $1 million is no problem. But someone has $100, there's strongly fixation attached to that. That is the obstacle. That is the problem. The not amount of the money, right? The problem is the desire. So that's the reason here especially when we die and let go everything. No let go everything, not attached to the object. So then our mind can be liberated. If our mind is not our mind is attached to the object something, then no possible liberation. So that's the reason here says sensual pleasures like salty water, the more you indulge, the more thirsty increase. Abandon at once those things which dread, clinging, attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So Bodhisattvas, see, attachment object is like right away they abandoned, which breed clinging attachment. One abandon at once those things which breed clinging attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So we can attachment object is anything, depending individual. Some is like strongly attached to the family. Some is strongly attached to the job. Some is strongly attached to the house. Some is strongly attached to the car. Some is strongly attached to the money. So like that, depending individual. So which is the strongest like attachment object you can practice? You don't, if you don't want to get rid of, you can meditate, practice impermanent. Change the concept. Clinging attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Then verses 22. So the verses 22 is wisdom. Other what so far we talked is all is method, part of the method, increasing our compassion, increasing our bodhicitta. Verses 22 is whatever appears in your mind from the start was free from fabricated extremes. Understanding this, do not take to mind inherent sense of subject and object. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So whatever appears is your own mind. Whatever appears to object is like our own mind. Then the main point is object is not inherently exist, because whatever appears our mind appear to is our own mind, is our own mind. The mind itself is not exist. Mind is not exist. Your mind from the state was free from fabricated extremes. So we can see so many different kind of object. Then where is this object is come from? the object always come from our own mind. So that's also like depending the teachings according to levels. So we have a Buddhist, we have like 4 different schools. There are 4 of them saying different. Where is this form is come from? But main point, Mayaminka says, all this form is apart to our own mind. Then, okay, mind itself is exist. No, mind also not exist. Mind also start was free from fabricated extremes, free from extremes. No exist, no non-exist. So that means emptiness. So mind is not exist, then this form, whatever apart to our own mind, that's also not exist. That's the reason no need to attach to object, no need to fixation to the object. This is like highest level kind of like use the method, Mayaminka method, realize emptiness, not attached to the object. Main point is. So then basic teaching, we cultivate impermanent. You know, long as you know impermanent, not that strong fixation to the object. So we recognize this verses 21, desire is a problem, attachment is a problem. So then how to release desire and attachment? So desire, attachment is like all this object. Object means like your 5 senses object. 5 senses object. Then this 5 senses object is, you know, impermanent. That also helps reduce desire and attachment. Then if you know verses 22, this is a more deeper level. 100% directly antidote to desire and attachment. So long as you realize this all forms is emptiness, no longer desire to the object, no attachment to the object, 100% free from desire and attachment. So we are free from desire, free from attachment from the object, then we are liberated. So mind is liberated. The main point, this verses 21, verses 22, see, where is this samsara come from? Desire and attachment. Where is nirvana come from? Buddhahood is realized emptiness, absolute truth. So it's very profound, these 2 verses. One is like causes of samsara, verses 21 is, 22nd is causes of nirvana, liberation. So verses 21 is desire, is result is samsara. Verses 22, realize emptiness, result is liberation. Long as you know this object is not exist inherently, then mind is no longer attached to the object, no fixation, no desires, mind is liberated. So then also whatever appears in your own mind, you know, your mind from the start was free from fabricated extremes. We have to meditate this section, cultivate and meditate. Something like you, mind is strong attached to object, fixation. So you really use this verses 22nd, meditate. Then you see the object is not exist. Yeah. Example, like you strong attached to something object, fixation, desire object, you lost that. Maybe you get suffering. If you lost that, you're really suffering. You meditate this one, verses 22nd, you are free from suffering because you seeing that object is not exist. And also If even you not lose that object, long as you have that object, your fixation, attachment, that object, that is the causes of suffering. You meditate versus 20 seconds, realize that object become its emptiness, then you no longer to attachment that object. So you are free from suffering. That's why we have to practice meditate emptiness, this verses 20 seconds. If we really want to get rid of our desire, fixation on our own mind, we have to meditate this verses 20 seconds. Whatever the effort is your mind from the start was free from favorited extremes. Understand this. Do not take to mind inherent. Science of a subject and object, this is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So then understand this, do not take to mind, nor attach to inherent science of a subject and object. Mind is subject and object is like other desire object. Both are not exist. So that's Bodhisattvas realize. It's the practice of Bodhisattvas. So now we go to verses 23rd. The 23rd also used for the meditate, for practice, for like release our desires. When you encounter attractive objects, though they seem beautiful like a rainbow in summer, do not regard them as rare and give up attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So when you encounter attractive object, when you see the something, attractive object, mind is right away fixation, attachment arise, like become you really want, strongly desire object, attractive objects. So then what we have to do, though they seem beautiful like a rainbow, so we have to see that same is the rainbow light. Rainbow is like colorful, beautiful, but not exist. Yeah, like that, desire object means like we are attachment arise to the object. So depending individually, so usually, the man's eye object attachment is female's eye object attachment is male. So then you use this practice, meditate, become no attachment. You can like that object, but not really attachment, because you see the no essence, no exist actually, kind of like same as a rainbow. Rainbow is beautiful, everybody like, but no one actually get. No exist, no essence. So like that, whatever attractive object we see, we attach to that. So we look carefully, become analyze that object, use your intellectual mind. The object is no exist inherently. So example, like you strongly attached to the car, when you see the beautiful special car, like you really fixation attachment to that car, you really wanting that car, and so you can afford maybe that car, you are suffering. You wanting, you have a desire, you can afford, you cannot buy maybe. Then what you have to do, you just meditate. Yeah, meditate. The car is take all part of particles, wires, tires, or think about, investigate where is the attachment, where is there no any place to attachment there. everything is young, become put together. So maybe then we attachment to the color. So then think about like all this, the paint come from like liquid. Where is the attachment? So no any exist permanent inherently object attractive object there. So you really investigate one by one, no any object, attachment object. So become you don't want anymore that car. Or you think about that car, if you get, then so you maintaining, you have to pay all this tax. Maybe you think about yourself is get accident or maybe get speed ticket offering or like that kind. So then you investigate yourself, the car, you don't want that car. So you are free from desire that car. Like that, it's long as we attach to some object, then we have to investigate. But problem is we don't have, sometimes we don't want investigate because we wanted to just don't know essence. Because due to ignorance and the desire, the problem is we don't remember these instructions. Forget when we need, we forget, we don't use. Yeah, we don't have enough mind for. So that's why we have to listening this 37 practice again and again. If you read often every day, that also helps become your really, this word is stuck in your mind. When you get these odd situations, different situations, everything has a solution there. Each solution is a powerful solution. Not temporary solution. This solution or is permanent solution. So we never ever apply these solutions many, many lifetimes. See, I'm beginning last time until no. We never ever apply these solutions. So that's the reason hard to apply this solution because we not used to that. The meditator practitioners used to easily use this solution. The situation is all taken into the path. So this solution is permanently taken care, not temporarily taken care. Yeah. So if you get attractive object, desire object, you think you get that object, you get done the problem. That is the ordinary people thoughts. Yeah. You get that object, but you see better than that another object. What you get the object, no more become attractive again. So you want another one. So we think about it, like when first iPhone comes, it's amazing first one. We never ever see like that finger can move or everything, Yeah, so amazing first one is like we never ever think the better than anything happening like that. So everyone who get first iPhone is satisfied. Who don't have the wanting that. So then that thing you get that, you're done. But then second comes, first one is no more attractive again. The object is no attractive object become. Then you get the first iPhone, you done your the desire attachment, no finish there. Second one comes, you want the second one. Second one, when you get it's great. So first one is no good. If I have a second one, then it's perfect. So then you think I'm free from desire. So comes third one, second one is no more attractive again. So second one is nothing comparing to third one. So no is like up to all the way 12 something. See, never end desire. So now you want to get to 12, so you think I'm free from desire. I'm great, but no great. Become 13 comes, you don't want any more again 12. So like that, desire is never end, followed by object is never end. So endless suffering, called endless suffering. That's the reason this practice is not temporary solution. Long as you practice that, you don't need iPhones, become already done. You know, you no more need again anything. So attractive objects. Okay, though they seem beautiful like a rainbow, so we have to see everything like that. Same as a rainbow. In summer, don't regard them as rare. If the object is rare, then always the object must be attractive object. But not always. That means the object is not rare. Okay. If first iPhone is a rare, attractive object, second comes, third comes, 10th comes, even like 12th iPhone comes, first one is always attractive object, but that not that right happening. That means like the first iPhone is not rare. Then first one is not rare, then how can be second one is can be rare? Second one is not rare, third one is not rare, fourth one also not rare too. So then nothing is rare. It's all is the same as a rainbow in summer. Don't regard them as rare. So then also same thing, you know, like that is example iPhone, but then means attached to woman, woman attached to man. So like that also not rare too. You know, like everything is changing, like no attractive objects, they're rare. So first like it's become is so attractive, then maybe after slowly no more attractive. That means an object is not rare. If object is rare, then always attractive object. So why is it that always no attractive object? The object is not exist permanently, inherently not exist. That's where you have to understand the emptiness means. So we're not talking about emptiness means like I cannot see you, I cannot talk with you. That is incorrect. Emptiness object, I can talk with you, I can see you. Yeah, we can talk, but no exist means not always like that. All the time change. So that means like object is not rare. Don't regard them as rare and give up attachment. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So that is the permanent solution. It's hard to apply that solution. If you get that solution, then you no more suffering in the samsara. Do you understand? Yes? Okay. That's all the 37 practices. Solution is a permanent solution. So we recognize. That's why it's not easy to apply. If long as you apply these solutions, we are free from samsara. Even you apply one verses in your life, the one verses take you to nirvana. So then why we need these 37 verses? Because individually need different, you know, like different problems we have. Yesterday read and until today is like, I have these problems 1 month, all these problems too. So need every day this solution, right? So everyone has this, the object kind of conditions problems. We have like some is bigger, some is small. If long as you have a mindful awareness, you apply these solutions, become change our life. No same is ordinary, become any more ordinary. Same is before our life, change. So verses 24, all forms of suffering are like a child's death in a dream. Holding illusory appearances to be true makes you weary. Therefore, when you meet with disagreeable circumstances, see them as illusory. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So, this all samsaric beings, the problem is all forms of suffering are like a child's death in the dream. Because we don't know the impermanence, we don't know emptiness, then all forms of suffering are like child's death in the dream. Means, so we are stuck with our own dreaming. We take our own dream is exist and permanent. See, Bodhisattvas, practitioners, seeing this situation, everything is become same as dreaming, illusory, no exist. Ordinary beings, then everything is like truth for us, truth exists. So that's why we are stuck in samsara, suffering. All forms of suffering are like a child's death in a dream. So holding illusory apple wants to be true makes you weary. See, we holding everything is true, exist. That's why we are suffering. Weary is suffering, right? W-E-A-R-Y, weary. Yeah, stuck with that. And so actually, the all is the same. It's like this, all forms of suffering, like a child's death in a dream. So when you go to sleep, especially only one mother has one child, that is very strong. Mother is like love or attachment to that child. So in the dream, mother's dream is to lose the child. Extremely suffering in the dream. Because mother is very strong attachment to the child, love, right? So the mother is, the dream is like they lose their own child in the dream, extremely suffering. So when they wake up, no lost. It's a dream. So maybe child is not there, exist. So think about in the one mother is really want the child. In the dream, they born the child, and then they're raising in the child, and then they're lost in the child in the dream. Extremely suffering in the dream, right? Yes or no? See, when you wake up, actually child is not born, never born the child, never raising the child in there, but no death. Never die, because no born, then how can die? So like that, our delusion right now, the who has realized is seeing we are still in the dreaming, our delusion. So we are stuck with delusion suffering. The Bodhisattvas wake up already, then no more delusion for them. So there are no suffering. We are stuck in the dream delusion, and the strong fixation for us is rare for us, rare for us. That's why it makes you very means suffering. holding illusory appearances to be true make you worry. So then how do we release that, delusion? Therefore, when you meet with disagreeable circumstances, so we see some, this negative object of suffering. So we have to recognize that is illusory, see them as illusory, no exist. Then no stuck with the suffering. It's hard, right? This section or no? So main point is, whatever you see something object, your mind is a fixation, attachment to the object, then you use this one. You recognize that object is seeing them as illusory, no exist. When you get problem, difficulty, suffering, stuck, that kind of situation, then you have to recognize it is illusory, it is no exist. Then you have become also free from that suffering too. So that's all this, powerful practice is like when you get difficulty, go through difficulty, suffering, you use this, or it's become illusory, no exist. The same is dreaming. We are no stuck, strong suffering with that object. Then also depending our individual level, so we cannot 100% apply whatever here says. You read this again and again, contemplate it. So that's also really helps your mind is changed. Then you used to become, these words, you used to this situation, understanding is become more used to, then you really make sense. When you get difficulty time, use this, practice, apply, really benefit. Just due to the, situation, according to the levels, how you put this practice, become 100% change your situation. That's best solution. This is the Bodhisattva's, the understanding, the realization. Our perception is totally different. Our perception, Bodhisattva's perception is different. Bodhisattva's perception, like seeing this, all this is the same as a delusion for them. But for us, no delusion, for us rare. Then who is the truth? Who is right? Our perception is right, or Bodhisattva's perception is right? So, of course, Bodhisattva's perception is right, because Bodhisattva has become seeing clearly. So someone who has a dreaming, that person's perception is right. Someone is waking up, that person's perception is right. Who's right? So Bodhisattva's perception is waking up, that is right? Example, like, think about you put the feature or something in your glasses in your face. Yeah, that machine is put your heads, and you are be with a group together. So you have totally different experience, perceptions. So other people who are there, they have their own perceptions. So who is right? Who is wrong? Temporarily, of course, like the people, other group who don't have this feature put in the face, they are right. Where they are, that is true. The other person who put that glasses on your I, and you have totally different experience. You don't recognize where you are. What are you doing? There, you don't see your friends, right? You don't see the house. You don't see anything there. So you are totally different percepts. Then that person's their own percepts. So others says, no, that is wrong. You are be with us here. But your perception is a delusion. That person didn't accept it. They say, no, I can see this truly rare for me. So no, I'm in the beach, or no, I'm in the mountains, no, I'm in the moon. So that person's perception is like they are on the moon, or they are in the beach, or they are on the mountain somewhere else. So then actually that person is not in the moon. That person is not in the beach. That person is maybe at home there with the other friends together. So here, that person is delusion, right? They're their own perception. So then who is right? But then, of course, the other people who don't put the glasses in the face, they are right. So the others take out the glasses or the percepts. Then he is not in the moon. He's just is there with others together. So like that, we have a delusion, ignorance. So we seeing is totally actually wrong. Our perception is totally wrong, but we don't accept that. The reason is I just telling you, this who put the feature or the glasses in the face, their perception has totally different. Others, they don't accept what others are telling that person, your perception is wrong. That person never accept. Okay. So waking up means like become you less fixations object. Then you seeing each object become kind of more delusions no exist. Then one day you seeing all is emptiness. So ordinary people seeing object all is rare, exist, permanent. Then you practice meditate, impermanent and emptiness become looks like it's seeing but not really truly exist there. Less become fixation, attachment. Object also become changed to like kind of more delusion. Then one day always you recognize it's emptiness, not exist. So that time then we waking up already. Wake up. So the Buddha has someone is wake up already, and then they knows what going on other delusion people. So delusion people don't know Buddha's mind. Buddha knows delusion people's mind. Okay, so the holding illusory apple wants to be true makes you wary. Therefore, when you meet with disagreeable circumstances, see them as illusory. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So that's all the how to, remove our desire, delusion. So we have to practice impermanence and meditate emptiness. So we have to recognize all this object is not inherently permanently exist. Everything is the same as a delusion. So you realize that become your mind's no fixation that much in the object. Less become attachment and desire. So then next is verses 25. Verses 25 is starting with 6 parameter. 6 parameter. Bodhisattva so practice the 6 parameters, 6 perfections. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Dharma is 6 parameter. So then 6 parameter is, using the wisdom, increasing wisdom. So the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is like we have to recognize the different ways like they explain, another way explain Buddha Shakyamuni explain to king of Machida is like one of the king India. That time the king, his name is Machida, he cared his own father because he due to very strong attachment to his kingdom. So he think his father never going to give him the power to become king. That is actually his wrong understanding. Father wanted to give him father is Buddha's student, so his name is Zukin Himbo. Is the first one Buddha's disciple king, the first king Buddha's disciple Zukin Himbo. So he wanted to give up his power, give it to his son, but his son didn't recognize that. Also, his son is influenced by other religions, and they create, like kind of wrong information for him. And they told him, you never ever get your father's kingdom because your father is Buddha's student. Buddha is always, they never die. So your father also always be with Buddha. So you never ever get your kingdom. Then they told him, you have to carry your father. So that he, listening to them, he carried his father. So then there's Machida, he influenced by also the Buddha's half brother, Leji. They work together, try to harm Buddha, and try to harm with all the Buddha's followers. But the publicly so strong devotion to Buddha, they had to done what they wanted to do, things cannot successful. So slowly Majida, he realized his wrong path is going to wrong directions. He's so much suffering, then he take refuge to Buddha. So Buddha give him Minpong taking refuge, the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Buddha told the king Majida, your wisdom is Buddha. Wisdom is Buddha, that is the Buddha, and the practicing, increasing, the wisdom, increasing wisdom, the practice is called Dharma. And the person who practices that is called Sangha. So that means, like, say, this 6 parameter is like perfection, called perfection, 6 perfection. Long as we have 6 perfection, we are Buddha. So we are try to, how to say, the practice or like increasing our 6 perfection. That is called Dharma. And then we are practice that, we are Sangha. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is not author level. The term Buddha, he told this King Machida, giving very simple way, and Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So think about 6 perfection is Buddha. When you practicing, increasing the 6 perfection is Dharma. Then the person who practices that is a Sangha. Do you understand? Yes or no? Okay. So now the Buddha's teaching all is like subsumed into these 6 categories, like 6 parameter. 6 parameter. Long as we practice 6 parameter, we practice Dharma. We're taking refuge to Dharma. So we practice 6 parameter, then during that time we have Sangha. So now we talk about this 6 parameter. First one is called Jnanarasti. When those who want to enlightenment must give even their body, there's no need to mention external things. So then Jnanarasti occurs like many different levels according to the individual dispositions, capacity. So the people who wanted to become enlightenment, must give even their body, means like, so when they're higher level realize, they don't care about their own body. They're no longer attached to their own body. But our beginner people, of course, the body is most important. So without the body, you cannot survive alive. Without a life, no Dharma then too. So you cannot practice Dharma. But here, not talking about you have to give your own body for others. Those who want to enlightenment must give even their body. There's no need to mention external things. They don't attach to their own body, become when they're enlightenment. You know, Bodhisattvas have realized absolute truth, emptiness. They're not attached to their own body. But that is the only first level Pimi Bodhisattvas. They're no longer attached to their own body. Until that, we as attachment, we don't have a realized emptiness. If you affected something, your body, you pain, you get suffering. So you don't need to give up your body until first Pimi Bodhisattvas. When you get realized first Pimi Bodhisattva, then your body is easy to, you can give up. So until first Pimi Bodhisattva, what we have to do? We have to do practice Jnanarasti. Practice Jnanarasti, external object things first. External object things. Therefore, without hope for return or any fruition, giving Jnanarasti, this is the practice of Bodhisattva means. Bodhisattvas, they don't care about their own benefit. 100% try to benefit for others. So their Bodhisattvas give up their own life for others, no problem. But this section, Buddha said, beginners never ever give up their own body. So otherwise, causes of suffering. This section all is followed by individual level, our disposition levels. So when you get this level, one day you can give up your own body, then we are already Bodhisattva, very high realizer. So now we are only entering into the Bodhisattva's path. Don't give up your body, but whatever we can give up things, then you can Jnanarasti giving to others. So most important, Jnanarasti, why give up means no longer attachment to the object. No longer attachment to the object. So giving up also not important. Giving up means like your mind, no longer attachment. So that means like perfection of Jnanarasti become. If you give up many things, but still you have fixation, attachment, object, that means like your Jnanarasti is not still perfection. When Jnanarasti is become perfection means no longer attachment. Your mind already giving up everything. So no desire, no attachment object. Then this Jnanarasti also has different kind of generosities. Material object generosity, giving save the others' life generosity, protecting others' life generosity, and giving Dharma teaching generosity, Dharma generosity. So that's 3 different levels. The Buddha says first ordinary people practice is material object, external material object things giving to others who need, generosity. And generosity is the first step practice. The generosity practice is even not necessary you have become monastic, anything. Ordinary people, everyone can practice this generosity practice. Then when Buddha Shakyamuni, he entered into the Bodhisattva's path, so his first practice is generosity. His first practice is generosity. The generosity result is you are reborn like human beings and also with enough food and cloth object. So, if we reborn to so difficulty become like, life is so hard and difficulty, whole life is only looking for the food and the cloth, drinks, then no time to practice Dharma. It's without this, kind of without the object, like our necessary, like kind of resource for practice Dharma. Without that, we cannot practice Dharma. Also, whole life is suffering, miserable. So then that's the reason all this practice Dharma supports circumstance object is come from generosity. So that's the reason Buddha, he did first step generosity practice. So then can reborn to higher realms, can benefit from more other beings. He can help more others. So that's why the 6th paramita first is generosity. Generosity is comparing to others most easy one. So then also generosity is result is a condition for practice Dharma. If we don't do generosity, future life, no condition with Dharma. So where is the all conditions come from? Dharma practice conditions come from is jhana, through the generosity, create accumulation merit. That's the reason Buddha, he did generosity. And first is material things, giving for others. And then second is called protect others' life. So save the life, other beings. And someone going to kill some other animals or human beings, so we go to help them and serve the life. That's also generosity too. Then you can giving Dharma teachings and sharing the education. That's all is a part of generosity. So 3 different level generosities. When we do the generosity, therefore, without a hope for return or any fruition giving generously, the Bodhisattvas no any hope and return result. So that is become very powerful. If you have hope and you attach to result, then even you do the big generosity things, but result is less. If you don't do like big generosity something, but you don't have a hopes, you don't have attached to result, then the generosity result, is become very powerful. So therefore, without hope for return or any fruition giving generously, Bodhisattvas no hope for the generosity result. Our ordinary people, of course, we always have hoping for result. We do something, hope for result. Even we do something like go to monastery, do something, or hope for my parents. And that's also good, dedication, part of dedication, like all thinking about like my relatives and parents, like we does like that. So we follow our precepts. That's first good step that helps our effort, get effort to do something. But the highest level generosity, no hope for return or any fruition. So that means like we have to elicit like understanding emptiness. So it's called wisdom. Generosity, this is perfect practice of Bodhisattvas. Then the generosity has like generosity with morality, generosity with patience, generosity with, of course, generosity with joyful effort, generosity, meditation, generosity with wisdom. So each this practice has 6 perfections together. And 6 times 6 is 36, right? 36 practice, 36. So go to the 36, actually, more detailed level, these 6 parameters. Then when you join generosity with morality, like when you're giving things like really humbly and respectfully giving for someone, so that is generosity with morality. Yeah. And then generosity with the patience, like you giving something is like they always have a patience with that. You can give up, that is your patience. And then generosity also, like what you doing generosity, any difficulty, whatever comes, you go through that. It's called generosity with the patience. Then generosity, joyful effort is like you happy to do generosity, you want to do that, you must have to have a joy and effort, called generosity with joyful effort. Then generosity with meditation is like you doing it correctly and recognize, mindfully doing that is meditation. Then generosity with wisdom is no hope, no return, any fruition. That is called generosity with wisdom. So generosity, one practice has all these 6 perfections going together. Okay, so now we can finish there today, generosity section, and go to the sadhana practice. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Page 26. At my own mind, with mind, alone, with nothing to identify, it is just like space, with nothing to whatever to see, vividly clear. In that essence, which is emptiness, I remain. Ranga semla semjeti, niso me pe nam kandra, jayang mantong sangewa, ngo tongpa nye de ne, o mane pe me hong ro, 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 mane pe me hong ro. Om mane pe me hong ro, mane pe me hong ro, mane pe me hong ro. Out of that experience of unimpeded emptiness, appearances arise unobstructed and vividly clear, without bias or pervasive, uncompounded, and with the nature of clear light. Oh, wonderful! Tomba santaranganye le nawa manga salewa rimi kinchan dimase Ranjin O Sarang On Sara Che Oman Peme Honro 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 Oman Peme Honro. Clear yet empty and empty yet clear. Clarity and emptiness indivisible beyond thoughts and expression. This in a genuine state of perfect bliss is the autonomic Lord Avalokiteshvara. Sar yen tong la tong yen sar, sar tong yer mi sam ju tra, len jin nyom a de jin de, mi dong jin re zi wang yen, oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong. Oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong, oma ne pe me hong je. It's a Kaju lineage dedication prayer 157, the Deti Yoga Sadhana. Dorjen Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma, Lord Gamboba, Pamotoba, and Lord Digomba, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessing of all Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion, may all who traverse on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is humble may it arise, where it is humble may it decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities are far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri Devero realized automatic state, and as did Samantabhata, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddhas who attain the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the Mary Asher bear fruit. By this virtue collected in the three terms, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the inner rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teaching of Great Gompa Ranashir, whose omniscient Lord of Dharma, master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Thank you, everyone.
Sojijaganla.
Everyone.
Khenpo, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Khenpo, when we were practice, when you today talking about the 18 practice and about saying that it's a doning practice also, and you, but to me personally, whenever I think about it, it scares me that to take on other people's suffering, even not in action, just think about it, meditate on it, and I feel very afraid. What should I do?
Oh, you're afraid?
I don't have the capacity to take on other people's suffering because I totally understand when I suffer, how painful it is. So I just want to avoid it. If I want to take on, like to give other people happiness, I have no hesitation. I can do it easily. But take on other people's suffering is very scary. I just afraid. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I'm too, Laming. I'm also scared to taking others' suffering too. But I'm wishing that,
But even wishing make me scared. I say this person had cancer. I will take on his cancer. Then I will so afraid that maybe I will have cancer. So I really will hesitate, say, I cannot take on his cancer. I'm so afraid.
So
you know what I'm...
So then you meditate, where is Laming? Where is Laming? Who is scared there?
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so you have to realize your non-self emptiness, then you can do the toning.
Yes.
Because you are attached that if I take on other people's cancer, maybe I will have cancer. So what should I do? I don't want to have cancer, you know.
So that's why if you don't want to have a cancer, you do that, like you never ever get cancer.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So when you are after
Doing
you
this
say
is
you
a
are
bodhisattvas like use the medicine is like taking others suffering, then they recover the illness.
oh, they
Yeah.
recover the illness for other people or for themselves.
Themselves. See, Jikti Songgo, he got the sick leprosy. He comes to strong compassion for others. He want to take all others' sickness. You know, then he recovered.
But this is not guaranteed, isn't it?
You really have compassion, and you know, you really have that strong kind of intention. I think it's happening. Power of intention, dharma.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Khenpo.
Yeah.
Khenpo, C-Tan has a question for you in the chat, and she wanted me to ask it.
Okay.
So she says, can you please advise how to understand between everything is rainbow-like, not real, or homage to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha? If the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and ourselves and everything is rainbow-like, why should we still take homage? Why practice Dharma?
So you like that's all has to depend the individual levels. It's the answer is clearly in the way of a Bodhisattva. So in the chapter 9 has wisdom chapter, and then with this the Mahayana Shantideva and he debating with the Hinayana monks. So Hinayana monks like think Buddha is rare, Dharma is rare, Sangha is rare. Shantideva said Dharma, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha all are same is illusion, is dreaming. So then the Hinayana monk says, why you then taking refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha? He said, I'm also delusion. My Buddha, Dharma, Sangha also delusion. Work for me for through the delusion. So you're taking refuge like truly existing, and I'm taking refuge is through the delusion. Work same thing. So that's the Shantideva's answer. Yeah.
And Khenpo,
Thank you.
and Khenpo, if there's no other questions, we wanted to say, as today is Father's Day, it's an honor to it's an opportunity to honor our teachers. And one student had sent me this message, and he wanted to honor you on Father's Day. And I thought that his message reflected all the students wanting to honor you on this day. So he said, Khenpo has great devotion to help us and all sentient beings relieve from suffering and ultimately gain enlightenment. So we wanted to give you our deep, deep appreciation for all of your efforts on this day when we honor those special fathers in our life. And in honor of this, Reluka has also created a song that she will sing for you. And also, I'd like you to take note on Reluka's behind her. It has people sitting in meditation, and it says, "Are we there yet?" So that's a very typical Western thing when all the kids are sitting in the back of the van and in the back of the car, and they're always yelling, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" So
also we honor for all the fathers here. So many
all the fathers.
for them first.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Khenpo, actually, I was inspired by Debbie at the beginning of the teaching, so I spontaneously wrote this. I'm a little bit nervous, but it's from my heart. So may our kind Father Khenpo Samdup have a long and happy life. May he joyfully lead us disciples with childish minds to enlightenment with his patient, skillful means, and may our Samaya never be impaired. That's it.
Thank you, Raluka. I'm recognize that is like in the what we have today in the verses somewhere. Otherwise, I'm get pride. Thank you.
Don't be pride, because if you are pride, I will also tell you if you are pride, if you are too proud.
Thank you.
But pride is okay.
We usually call the fathers is called Kaju fathers, and Marpa Lotsa Malarepa Gambopa is called fathers of Kaju lineage.
I have a question, Genla. Genla, regarding 24 verse. So for example, if I see animals being abused and killed and tortured, or if I see something what I do not like in my life, like for example, other people abusing other people, animals being abused and killed and tortured, should I go in and say, this is just an illusion? Please don't be afraid. This is an illusion. That's what I have to do.
Yes, I think okay. You can do that.
So if you're afraid seeing this samsara, right? Samsara is suffering.
Yes.
So it's very hard to endure this every day and every second samsaric suffering. So in that situation, I just say, this is just an illusion, not to be afraid. It's just an illusion. It's not true dogs are being tortured. It's not true people are suffering. That's the point?
Yes. There no exist.
Emptiness.
Emptiness.
Thank you, Tojiche. Tojiche.
Hello, I just wanted to say hello before we say goodbye. They didn't get my meds here in time, so I've had to spend a lot of time soaking in hot baths so I can sit up. But hi, everybody, happy Papa's Day. Happy Father's Day. But Achichoki Droma is the mother of the Drinkun. So, so Papa's to the all and mothers to the Drinkun. Star shine on.
Where is your background? Is a Where's
my what?
You have legs, beautiful legs behind you.
This is my bedroom.
Oh,
indeed.
Wow, it's colorful.
Made it fancy.
Yes, you have lots of offerings there.
Yeah, actually. It's very helpful. It's kind of Sambhogakaya, little kind of, where's my hand? Sambhogakaya like, Yes. So hopefully it is. I'm pretty sure. So have a good day. Have a great Father's Day, Khenpo. Thank you for your blessings for us. Thank you for your generosity to us, your children. Thank you.
Have a good day for everyone. Tashi Delek or Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Father's Day.
Happy Father.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for thinking of us and adding so much.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Sangha. Wonderful.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
I think Linda has a question, Khenpo. Her hand's raised.
Oh, very quick. Is Father's Day poem is the great paramita being, not sentient being, paramita being. Yes? For you.
Father sentient beings.
Father, mother.
The great paramita being. The great paramita being has many eyes to see both near and far, many breasts to feed the many and the few, many hands to help, to save, and to protect, many hearts to beat for every life, many lungs to breathe into those who have no breath, and many feet with wings to arrive in time, to arrive in no time, and a mind unimaginable. Are you? Did you understand anything?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Linda. Okay, have a good day, everyone.
Have a
See you
good day,
tomorrow.
Khenpo.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
Ciao.